today we'll be making another traditional cookie. It's called Linzer cookies and it's very delicious, so I hope you try it. So all you need is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 stick and 6 tablespoons of butter, unsalted butter, 1 cup of powdered sugar, 3 egg yolks, 1 lemon. We will zest it for the skin. And then we will need some jams because we will be connecting it in the together with the jam. So I really like to use currant because that's the most typical we would use in Czech Republic because it's little sour and it works very well with this kind of cookie. Or I have here some blackberry, so anything you like, any kind of jam. Then you need some cutters. You can either get like something that is already a set and it already gets the middle out, or if you don't have that and you just have regular cutters, then what I found that works the best is a straw to get the middle out so we can see the nice jelly, so it's a nice effect. And let's start with this recipe. Let's first start with the dry ingredients. So here I have 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of powdered sugar. We can mix it a little. And now we will zest the lemon. I recommend using organic lemons because you are using the skin. So let's zest the whole lemon, and this will give the amazing lemony, citrusy flavor. It's so delicious in there. Let's mix this a little more. And we won't be able to use our wooden spoon anymore because we'll be using our hands because it gets really messy. Now we need 3 egg yolks. One of them detonated, well, that's okay. That happens. Now we'll be using 1 stick and 6 tablespoons of butter. This 1 stick is 8 tablespoons. You need to let it sit outside of the fridge for a little bit to soften up, and if you forgot to do that, you can put it in a microwave for about 10-15 seconds and just see how it looks. Put it in there, and I try to save the cover because we will brush this on our trays, baking trays. So I just washed my hands to make sure that they are really clean, and let's use our hands to do this. Or if you have a mixer, that'll work too. The stand-up mixer. But growing up, we didn't have all these luxuries, so we always did it with our hands. We would do it on a board, but this way it's okay to have it in a bowl. And just kind of try to crush that butter, and it will all start to stick together, and you will have it all over your hands. Oh, it already smells amazing, the lemon skin. Because the butter is very soft, we won't be able to work with our dough right away, so we will need to let it chill. But let's first prepare our dough. Also get everything from your bowl, so our bowl is nice and clean. It's already nice bowl, and I just will work with it a little bit to make sure everything is mixed up. You will need an empty plate, so let's get that, and now we will get our dough, round it up. And now we will need to cover it up, but I have to first wash these oily, buttery hands. Here I have some wrap. And you need to cover it up. and put it in the fridge for about 1 hour. If, just in case, you don't have time to bake it after 1 hour, it can stay in the fridge for a day or for a couple of days. It will still be fine, but it needs to be really sealed well if you want to keep it for more than 1 day, so it doesn't get any flavors and smell from the fridge. So I'll put it in for 1 hour. First, let's butter up our trays. So I have these butter wrappers. This is how my mom always did it, and it was a great way to use these wrappers. And if it's not enough, then just grab some butter and get some brush, and you can brush it on it. I recommend having prepared 2 trays, at least two. It works well for me because while one is baking, the other one you can work on. Let's get our dough. Our dough is ready. You need to pile up some flour in here because we'll be using it. First, let's sprinkle some of the flour on the board. Now the dough might be too hard. If it is too hard, if you let it sit, for example, more than 1 hour, it might be too hard to work with. So just have it sit here for maybe half an hour to get soft again, because otherwise it will be like a rock. But my dough is perfect. We have some rolling pin, and you will want to put also flour on top of our rolling pin. Now let's roll, and I like to always, because underneath here the dough will, the flour will absorb it into the dough, so I just kind of brush it like this. And when it starts to stick, you know you need more flour. I cut out way too small piece of a dough. Now it depends how thick you like it. I like it pretty thin. So let's get some of our cutters. I'll pick for now some Christmas tree. It's pretty small, which takes more time, but it's nice that you have just a small piece in your mouth. Now you pick it up. Sometimes it sticks to the board, so then I use a knife and just get it out there. What I like to do, I like to create one row that has no hole in the middle, and then the other row with the hole that we will do with our straw. So let's do that. Beautiful tree. And let's also turn on the oven to 350. This way when we are done, the oven will be done preheating. The lemon skin might be sticking like this, which is fine, it will bake, or if you want you can just fold it underneath. And I will finish the whole tray, and then I will show you how I do it with the straw. One tray is ready, and now you want to leave one row full, and the other one we will just do a little poke. It might not come out always as easy, so sometimes I would have a little toothpick and just try to get it out. Just poke a little hole in the middle, so this way the marmalade will show very nicely. These are some snowflakes. Just make sure before you put it in the oven that you made those holes, because that would not be fun to find out afterwards. And then you can still use the dough, just squeeze it out and we can use it. So let's bake these. I know that my oven will bake it in 6 minutes, so it depends on your oven. I bake it for 350 for 6 minutes. Just make sure that the bottom has a little color, but not really dark. You don't want to burn these. If you start having issues with your dough, that means that the butter is too soft and it needs to go back in the fridge for a little bit, or while you work on these, just keep the rest of the dough in the fridge and bring it out as soon as you need it, because then it's harder to work with and it will break up on you and it will be misshaped. Then that means that the butter needs to be firmer. The 6 minutes is done, and I just pull it out of the oven and I let it sit. As you see, it has a little edge, little colors on the edges. So I let it sit on here till it cools off, and then I can put it on a tray, and then we will be connecting it with the marmalade. These are now cooled off, so we can put it on a tray. And I have this beautiful Christmas tray. And what I like to do, because we'll be connecting them with the marmalade or jelly, I like to already stack them together. This way you don't have to look for the right pair. Now this is the tray we used, and I like to just get the crumbs out of it and kind of brush it again. And then you can just use some paper towel just so we have the crumbs wiped out, and we do it like that, and now it's ready to use again. I want to also show you, if you buy this set, how easy this is to use. So first we will do just the ones without the middle. These are much bigger, so you'll be done in no time. I do keep my dough in the fridge, because this way it doesn't melt the butter, because it's already soft, I can tell. If you see a little bit like almost cracked that it's separating, I just press it a little more like that, because we don't want cracks, we want it nice and smooth. I always fix it if it doesn't look perfect. So here I have a little star, so let's do this. And see, it got right in there, which is great. This way it came out the whole thing, and you just press this, and ta-da! Beautiful. And I still use this dough, since you have this nice straw, you just push it out. Another tip, make sure that you are using cutters that are all same shape. For example, don't use shapes like these or the slat, because when you bake it, then you will try to put it together, it will be opposite, you know what I mean? So it won't work. So just make sure that you get all the same shapes on all the sides, not this one. We are done baking, and here you can see how many cookies it makes. I made some of the bigger ones, but I really like the small ones. It's much prettier, and just everybody can just have a little sample, and it's all good. Now we have to put some jelly in between, and be careful when you're doing it, because it's fragile, and I'll show you how. So here is my current jelly. I don't have much space here. You don't need much, so just grab this, you put it in the middle, and that's about it, how much you want to put. And now you top it off, squeeze a little bit, and here you go. This will hold, and it's perfect like this. And look how much nicer it already looks with the red middle.